One of the latest groups to come under FBI for surveillance is a real doozy. Food Not Bombs
is the latest peace group on an anti-terror watch list.
Okay.
So, Food Not Bombs is a DIY urban resistance strategy.
We take food that would otherwise be unused, cook it up,
and give it to people who want it, anybody who wants it.
It started as a protest against how basically governments are spending so much money on funding the military over giving people basic nutrition.
Lots of cities around the world have Food Not Bombs, sometimes multiple ones. And it follows 3 basic principles. So principle 1 is that the food is always vegan and vegetarian and free to anyone with no questions asked.
Oh, it's free. It's free.
And the second one is that the group is non-hierarchical and decisions within the group are made based on consensus.
We could do like patties for the...
And the third one is that it's not a charity and it's dedicated to non-violent social change.
It's a cliche, but you can't riot on an empty stomach. Like, you've got to provide people with those necessities before you can start working on the bigger stuff.
So every Saturday we make our way to the Quaker Meeting House, which is where we have a cooking space.
So we all arrive around 10:30, and then usually we come to a table full of ingredients. It's a lot of mushrooms.
We will have collected ingredients usually the day before. So People's Pantry is one of quite a lot of pantries that exist nowadays. They work more on the model that you pay a small amount, maybe £2.50, £3, and you can get, say, £15 worth of shopping. They run up until Friday lunchtime when they close for the week, so just after that one of us can go see what's left over.
Too many of them and we can't get rid of them. Let's see what else is in there. Oh, there's some salad. However much you need.
As much, I mean, they will give it away in the store, if yeah.
It's just a matter of keeping in touch with other groups in the community and just people in the community. There's kind of no way to execute this unless you're willing to invest in relationships with the people around you.
We're quite open about our politics. Local businesses are still happy to align themselves with us. That's something about Glasgow that I really love. People are just naturally radical.
No one really is the authority in the space. We all decide on stuff very collaboratively.
We usually post like, oh, we got so and so, we got carrots, we got tomatoes, we got whatever from blah blah, and that's when they're like being like, oh, we can make this, we can make this, we can make this.
Oh yeah. Stop moaning.
It's like a nice space where it doesn't feel like you're pressured to do anything really. So there's always space to socialise, but also space to just focus on the cooking itself. Yeah, then we pack up and head to the stall.
have access to a cellar for the moment, where we have that stationary equipment. So we take all that out, set it up, put the food out, and then we start serving.
Food makes it easy to talk to people. A lot of people just stay just for a chat, and it makes you feel involved with like the people around you.
There's this one guy that comes up, I make him his coffee. I know he makes it with such a ludicrous amount of sugar, so I always make sure that I get it right for him. People just like talking to people, like being remembered, that kind of thing, right?
So something really important to us is not having such a separation between the givers and the receivers. It's supposed to be a shared community meal, so having people come around from one side of the table to the other is always really nice.
There was one time we made this like potato salad, and a guy strolled up and was like, "You need some za'atar on that," and he just disappeared, and 10 minutes later came with his bag of za'atar and just like tipped it on, mixed it up, 10 times better. We do that from about 1-ish until the food runs out, really, and then we do it all again the next week.
I mean, food is close to my heart because food is a global justice issue.
All our food is donated. We see the amount that is wasted, just insane amounts. Like, how are people going hungry when we're getting like 10-kilogram bags of rice? And I'm just like, man, what the hell? Like, what is this?
We would probably say that our model is solidarity, not charity. The other aspect is the idea that we're fostering community, building up community cohesion. Food Not Bombs has that mushroom-like structure that's a really interesting way to think about social change in general and activism and movements. And because it has this cellular model, anybody can do it, anyone can start. Each chapter is completely autonomous and independent, and as a result, that's much more of a resilient shape.
I really like how at a lot of points money doesn't even really come into it, you know?
Every penny that we get is going back into the community. Nobody is making money off Food Not Bombs.
It just feels like a small escape from capitalist realism.
Everything that we do is a protest against inequality, against food scarcity, against capitalism, against war and poverty and injustice generally.
It does make you look at like the world around you and like food system as a whole, and you're just like, oh, this really is not working out. And also, it really is possible to do better.
I set up the current chapter of Food Not Bombs. So I put out a call for volunteers. We set up our first food share at the start of 2021. It was kind of a disaster.
Oh, how'd that go?
We didn't really know what we were doing. It was pissing it down. We had like one driver, and after that I was like, is this the end? Was that our first and only food share? But we did manage to keep it going.
You know, we're a leaderless, non-hierarchical group. Nobody's in charge, and it's quite difficult to make things happen sometimes.
It's always been pretty chaotic. I think that's just the nature of anarchist organising.
It's not anarchism's fault, it's capitalism's fault, because that's the thing that's made it all so difficult in the first place.
You know, honestly sharing a free meal with somebody, showing that, you know, money isn't what matters in the world, you know, community is. I think it's a really good way of showing that.
Yeah, it was very DIY, but we had fun. As with a lot of these things, it's better to do something imperfectly than to not do anything at all.
So find out a bit more about it. You can contact our iteration via our socials or have a look on social media, and there might well be one that's nearby.
Get started, get involved.
Don't be shy, come up to the stall.
By all means, come and join us if you want, but we'd also encourage people just to start their own.
It's pretty straightforward, like get the food, cook the food, give out the food. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's fine, it's coming.
36 seconds.
What can I say in 36 seconds? All cops are bastards. Free Palestine.
Yeah.
Go vegan if you can. Go vegan. I love being vegan.